Hello, everyone, and welcome to this lecture on types of biological evidence in DNA forensics. In the world of forensic science, where DNA plays a crucial role in solving crimes, identifying individuals, and even exonerating the innocent, but where does this DNA come from? Biological evidence refers to any material from a living organism, such as blood, hair, saliva, or skin cells, that carries DNA and can be used in forensic investigation. So, in this video, we will explore the different types of biological evidence used by forensic experts, their sources, and importance in real life crime solving. So, let's dive into the world of forensic biology and uncover how tiny traces of DNA can speak volume in the courtroom. Evidence. Evidence can be defined as any material, information, or object presented in a legal investigation or trial to prove or disprove a fact. According to Section 3 of the Indian Evidence Act 1872, evidence means anything that helps the court understand the truth of a case. It includes statements made by witnesses in the courtroom which are related to the fact being investigated, documents or records, including electronic records like emails or digital files that are shown to the court during the case. So, in simple words, evidence is any information, spoken or written, that helps the court decide what really happened. Biological evidence. Biological evidence refers to any sample that comes from a living organism and contains DNA. It plays a crucial role in forensic science because it can help identify suspects, victims, or even establish link between a person and a crime scene. This type of evidence includes materials like blood, saliva, semen, hair, skin cells, nail scrapings, and even bones or teeth in the case of decomposed bodies. For example, if a blood is found at a crime scene, forensic experts can extract DNA from it to match with a suspect. Similarly, a strand of hair with its root or saliva left on a glass or cigarette can also be used to identify someone through DNA profiling. In short, biological evidence is often the silent witness that can speak volumes, helping law enforcement solve crimes with scientific precision. Now let's look at the main types of biological evidence used in DNA forensics. Blood. Blood is one of the most common sources of DNA in forensics. It contains white blood cells, which have nuclei that carry DNA. Blood can be collected from fresh pools, dried stains on clothes or surfaces, or even from underneath fingernails. It is especially useful in violent crime cases like assault or homicide. Saliva. Saliva contains cells from the inner lining of the mouth, known as buccal epithelial cells. It's often found on cigarette butts, drinking glasses, straws, bite marks, envelopes, or even on skin after biting. Saliva is frequently used in theft or assault cases. Semen. Semen has a high concentration of DNA and is particularly important in sexual assault investigations. It can be collected from clothing, body swabs, or bedding and provides strong evidence when properly preserved and analyzed. Hair. Hair can be useful, especially if it contains the root, which has nuclear DNA. Even if the root is missing, the hair shaft contains mitochondrial DNA, which can still help in identification. Hair is commonly found on brushes, clothes, or crime scenes and is often used in both violent and non violent cases. Skin cells or touch DNA. When a person touches a surface, they leave behind tiny skin cells. This is known as touch DNA. Though the quantity is small, modern techniques can analyze this DNA. It's often collected from weapons, door handles, phones, or clothing in theft or assault cases. Sweat. Sweat by itself doesn't contain DNA, but skin cells mixed with sweat can be analyzed. If someone leaves behind a sweaty cloth, cap, or sleeve, it may contain enough DNA for testing. Urine. They contain DNA from cells that are shed from the body. However, they are not always reliable sources as DNA quantity can vary and samples degrade faster. Teeth and bones. Used especially in mass disasters, cold cases, or when remains are decomposed. Teeth and bones can preserve DNA for years. They help identify missing persons or unknown deceased individuals when other evidence is unavailable. Nail scrapings. During a physical fight, a victim might scratch the attacker, trapping skin cells under their nails. These scrapings are collected in assault and homicide investigations and can provide crucial DNA evidence. Vaginal and rectal swab. These are collected in sexual assault cases and often contain mixed DNA from both the victim and perpetrator. When analyzed properly, they can confirm contact and even identify the attacker. So, as you can see, biological evidence is not limited to one or two sources. Forensic scientists can work with a wide range of samples, some visible, some invisible to the naked eye, to extract DNA and reveal the truth hidden in a crime. Each type of evidence requires careful collection, storage, and analysis. Even the smallest mistake can lead to contamination or degradation, which is why crime scene handling is a critical process in forensic investigation. That's all for this part of the video. I hope this helped you understand the different types of biological evidence used in DNA forensics. Let's talk about one of the most commonly encountered types of biological evidence in forensic science, that is blood. Blood is a rich source of DNA, especially because it contains white blood cells. These cells have nuclei, and that's where the DNA is found. Even a small amount of blood can provide enough DNA to help identify an individual. What makes blood especially useful is that it can be collected from a variety of surfaces like floors, walls, weapons, or even clothing. It may appear as fresh stains, smears, or dried spots, but even aged or dried blood can still yield usable DNA if preserved correctly. Blood evidence is crucial in violent crime investigations, such as assaults or murders. It can help link a suspect to a scene or show the movement of people during an incident. In short, blood doesn't just tell us that someone was injured, it can also reveal who they were. Now let's look at semen as a form of biological evidence. Semen is a highly valuable source of DNA as it contains a large number of sperm cells, each packed with genetic material. Because of this high DNA concentration, it plays a critical role in sexual assault investigation. This type of evidence can be collected from a variety of sources, such as clothing, body swabs, or bedding, depending on the circumstances of the case. When collected and preserved properly, it can offer strong and reliable DNA profiles. Semen evidence not only helps in identifying the perpetrator, but can also support or challenge the statements made by the victims or suspects. In many criminal cases, it becomes a key factor that helps forensic experts link a suspect to the crime and bring justice to the victim. So, the proper handling of semen samples is essential for preserving the integrity of this powerful piece of forensic evidence. Let's now explore saliva as a type of biological evidence in DNA forensics. Saliva contains buccal epithelial cells, which are shed from the inner lining of the mouth. These cells hold DNA, making saliva a reliable source for forensic analysis. Saliva can be found on everywhere, like cigarette butts, drinking straws, envelopes, or even bite marks on skin or clothing. It often goes unnoticed at a crime scene, but for forensic experts, it can be a silent yet powerful clue. This type of evidence is especially useful in theft and assault cases, where a suspect may leave left behind traces without realizing it. For example, biting a victim, smoking at a scene, or spitting during a struggle can all leave saliva deposits. When collected and tested properly, saliva can help investigators link a person to a specific object or location, making it an important tool in criminal investigation. Hair as a source of biological evidence. Hair can provide valuable DNA, especially if it includes the root, which contains nuclear DNA, the type most commonly used for individual identification. However, even if the root is missing, the hair shaft still contains mitochondrial DNA, which can help narrow down identity, especially in older or degraded samples. Hair is often found at crime scenes or on personal belongings like clothing, brushes, pillows, or furniture. It can be shed naturally or pulled out during a struggle, making it a common piece of trace evidence. Although it may not always provide a full DNA profile, hair can still help forensic experts link a person to a location or victim, especially when other evidence is limited. That's why careful collection and analysis of hair samples can play a crucial role in both current and cold cases. Challenges in handling biological evidence. While biological evidence is powerful in solving crimes, there are several challenges when it comes to handling and preserving it. The first major challenge is degradation. DNA can break down over time or due to environmental conditions like heat, moisture, sunlight, or bacteria. This makes it difficult to obtain a usable profile, especially in older or poorly stored samples. The second concern is contamination. If the evidence comes into contact with DNA from investigators, medical staff, or even other evidence, it can lead to mixed or false results. That's why proper handling protocols like wearing gloves and using sterilized tools are so important. And finally, some samples only contain a very small amount of DNA, also called trace evidence. Extracting and analyzing such tiny amounts require advanced techniques and extreme care. Overcoming these challenges is crucial to ensure that the evidence remains reliable and admissible in court. So that's all for today. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for more such forensic science topics. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you found this useful.